I'm honored to take part in commemorating the opening chapter of one of the most powerful stories in American history. On a quiet Sunday morning nearly 70 years ago, the looming conflict that would soon consume the entire world announced itself in the sound of airplanes overhead. It was fast and it was devastating. The outrage in President Roosevelt's voice as he called Americans to arms the following day spoke for the nation. Pearl Harbor and its defining icon, the USS Arizona Memorial, occupies an exalted position in the pantheon of our great places. Its historic significance and its emotional power draw more than 1 million visitors each year. They come to experience the gravity that is imparted by such terrible loss, and to see firsthand the scene of the Pacific War's opening act, and to understand its political and military realities. To better appreciate a war that was fought over vast distances, the previously unthinkable logistical feats it required, and the awakening of a modern industrial nation united in a cause that required heroic determination and monumental achievement. The care and effort that have gone into this new Visitors Center reflect our solemn responsibility to ensure that not only that this event is never forgotten, but that visitors are immersed in its truth. State-of-the-art exhibits and skilled staff will bring this history to visitors like never before, interpreting Pearl Harbor and the war in the Pacific with the scope and detail these events so richly deserve. What you see here is far more than an investment of time and funds. This new facility is a fulfillment of a promise that we will honor the past and use its power to educate and inspire our nation. We in the National Park Service are the keepers of the American story, a narrative that is long and endlessly varied. In our care is the power of place, the truest witness to history. In America's national parks and monuments, our fellow citizens see the ideals, the ingenuity, the inspiration, and the collective acts of conscience that made us a nation. They are also places that remind us that America was not born solely of the great thoughts and high principles, but at times of blood and fire. From the wooden bridge at Concord to the great Civil War battlefields to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, we commemorate a legacy of patriotism and sacrifice. This visitor center we dedicate today is an expression of our honor, our gratitude, and our remembrance. Pearl Harbor is enshrined in the national consciousness, and it is our privilege to serve as the steward of places such as this. It is an honor we share with a dedicated group of partners, including the United States Navy, the Pearl Harbor Historic Sites, the Pearl Harbor Survivors Association, and the Pacific History Parks. But this visitor center would not have been possible if not for the efforts of many, including Senators Inouye and Akaka, Congresswoman Mazie Hirono, Hawaii's governors past and present, Lingle and Abercrombie, and former Arizona Governor Janet Napolitano, who now serves our nation as Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. On behalf of all Americans, and thank you all for those who helped make this day a reality. Almost 7 decades have passed since the silence of that Sunday morning was broken by the sound of a world at war. That world has changed immeasurably since, the fury of war fading into an ever-receding past. But the passage of time does not diminish our commitment to remember. Long after the last veteran of the war in the Pacific is gone, we will still be here, telling their story and honoring their dedication and sacrifice. We dedicate a new visitor center. These buildings, in fact, transcend their function. Our presence here today is an affirmation of our commitment to be present here always. As keepers of the American memory, the National Park Service is proud to say to all veterans of the war in the Pacific, alive and at rest, we carry you into the ages. It is our honor to do so, to express the gratitude of your nation, and to keep its promise to always remember. Thank you.